shocking an Ohio law banning most abortions.
The judge's decision is a major step in the right direction for the women of Ohio.
Legal experts explain what this means and how Area Women's Med Center is responding to it. Then,
I pray that he's looking over me, but just one last time.
A mother reaching out more than 2 weeks after her son was shot to death by a Columbus police officer. A one-on-one interview with her as she pleads with the community for help. And
the Air Force Marathon returning to in-person after a 2-year hiatus. What you can anticipate for tomorrow's race. Plus,
hundreds gathering this weekend to stop heart disease and strokes. The little girl being honored at the event as a heart hero.
tonight reaction continues from pro-choice and pro-life supporters. For now, abortions past 6 weeks could take place in Ohio. Thanks for joining us. I'm Adam Merrill.
And I'm Megan O'Rourke. Yesterday, a court ruling temporarily blocked Ohio's heartbeat bill, which makes abortion illegal after a fetal heartbeat is detected. Mamie Baugh spoke with those who fought against it and the Women's Med Center. Mamie.
The Women's Med Center actually planned on stopping all procedures today because it said the bill made it hard to operate. But now things have changed. The ACLU tells me it will continue to fight for reproductive rights.
For 13 more days, the only abortion provider in the Dayton area will stay open. The Women's Med Center tells me while it's not long, it's a relief.
We're seeing our first patients tomorrow. We started to book appointments, and we booked 30.
That was just within 6 hours. The center planned on closing in the next couple of months because it said Ohio's heartbeat bill made it difficult to operate. However, it's been temporarily halted.
The judge's decision is a major step in the right direction for the women of Ohio.
Wednesday, a Hamilton County judge temporarily blocked the law, allowing abortions after 6 weeks. American Civil Liberties Union has been fighting this case, and it's hoping for something more permanent.
Presumably, hopefully, we will receive a preliminary injunction that will keep the heartbeat bill blocked during the pendency of the entire lawsuit.
Legal experts say that will be more impactful than the 2-week halt. Professor Tom Hagel says this case will be an uphill battle. It may end up going before the state Supreme Court.
There is certainly no mention of abortion rights under Ohio's Constitution. So if it's going to be found, it's going to have to be found through interpretation.
Abortion providers are hopeful that will happen. For now, the ACLU and Women's Med Center tell me they will continue to fight.
The public outcry over the virtual banning of abortions in Ohio is sending a clear message to the politicians in our state house. Stop trying to impede and control women.
Now, I did reach out to the governor's office, but I didn't hear back. However, I did hear back from the attorney general's office. It tells me it's reviewing the judge's decision and will consult with the governor's administration on the next steps. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Mamie. And we did also reach out to a handful of lawmakers to get reaction to the ruling. Republican Representative Jennifer Gross wrote in part, "I'm disappointed to see for a second time an activist judge once again stop law which has been duly passed by our legislature and signed into law by our governor." We also heard back from Democratic Representative Bridget Kelly, who wrote in part, "Wherever you come from and whatever your background, Americans know that people should have the fundamental freedom to make decisions about their bodies and their health care."
Live pictures over the Capitol building tonight as Democrats are lashing out against a proposed nationwide ban on abortions. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham introduced a bill that would restrict abortions after 15 weeks, with exceptions for rape, incest, and the mother's health. Democratic senators called it an attack on women and criticized Republicans for being hypocritical.
It is unconscionable to me that Senator Graham now believes that this should be a federal law, that he believes now that states' rights no longer need to weigh in our minds, that he wants to have a federal ban across the board.
Abortion is viewed as a big issue for the upcoming elections with the overturning of Roe v. Wade. Several Republican lawmakers slow to support Graham's legislation as it undermines the longstanding GOP view that the issue should be left to the states.
I support this going out to the states and letting we the people decide. Okay, that's the law on the books right now.
I think most of the members of my conference prefer that this be dealt with at the state level.
In the wake of the Supreme Court's decision, many states taking action to protect or further restrict abortion access.
We're now learning the name of the judge who will serve as special master in the Mar-a-Lago case. Federal Judge Raymond Dearie will review documents seized from former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. Both the Justice Department and Trump's legal team approved the appointment. Dearie is a former federal prosecutor who served as the chief judge of the federal court based in Brooklyn. As special master, Dearie will sort through the documents to determine which cannot be used by the government due to executive privilege or attorney-client privilege.
At least one person is hurt after a motorcycle crash in Greene County. This happened along Colorado Drive around 3:30 this afternoon. We're still working to learn what caused that crash, but Ohio State Highway Patrols tell us the bike did catch fire. 21-year-old Scott McHenry was taken to Miami Valley Hospital after troopers say he was seriously hurt. That crash remains under investigation. As we learn any new information, we'll update you here on air and online.
State representatives are finding new ways to remember the life and legacy of Clark County Deputy Matthew Yates. Springfield Representative Kyle Kohler introducing legislation. House Bill 720 would designate a portion of State Route 40 between Tuttle Road and State Route 54 as Deputy Matthew Yates Highway. Yates was shot and killed on the line of duty back in July while responding to a shots fired call in Harmony Township. He was a 15-year veteran of the Clark County Sheriff's Office.
And Richmond police continue to provide daily updates to Officer Sierra Burton's condition. The department says that Burton continues to show her strength and are asking for thoughts and prayers. Burton was shot while responding to a traffic stop last month. She was then taken from Richmond, Indiana to Miami Valley Hospital, where she remained in ICU before being removed from life support. Right now, she is in a Richmond hospice facility where police say she's been surrounded by family.
A live look over downtown Dayton tonight as fall weather settles into the Miami Valley tonight. However, summer-like temperatures should return sooner than later. Chief Meteorologist Natalie Walters is out on our exclusive Watson's Weather Patio right now tracking this warm-up. Natalie, how soon could we see those warmer temps?
Well, climbing temperatures on the way and going to continue to really see them through the upcoming weekend. For right now, it is still a pretty mild night. 67 in Dayton. We have 59. That's one of our cool spots in Wapakoneta. 56. Even cooler in Urbana. Compared to this time yesterday, we are a degree or so warmer, as you can see in Dayton, 2 degrees warmer in Springfield. And we're overall going to continue to see a cool start to the day tomorrow. Still in the upper 50s, some patchy fog around for the kids heading out to the bus stop. We'll see some sunshine, a little bit more cloud cover by the afternoon. Temperatures back in the mid 80s, so we do get even warmer by later into the day, even warmer than where we're at for today. So plan on summer-like afternoon after a cool start to the day, but we do see temperatures climb even more by the weekend. I'll let you know how much coming up.
Natalie, thanks. The Pike County murder trial continues today after 8 people from the Roden and Gilley families were killed back in 2016. George Wagner IV is on trial for his part in the murders. All 4 members of his family were charged. His younger brother Jake and mother Angela pleaded guilty last year to those killings or plotting the crimes. It was high emotions in the courtroom today as the jury heard how the final victim, Kenneth Roden, was discovered. Luke, Kenneth's son, recalled what he saw inside his father's trailer after his cousin said he'd been shot to death.
Were you able to see any part of him from where you were?
I was able to see his leg and the top of his head, and the blanket it was actually placed, looked like it had been placed on him.
If the pattern holds from the previous 3 days, the prosecution will probably call those first responders to the scene at Kenneth's trailer tomorrow.
The mother of Donovan Lewis reaching out more than 2 weeks after her son was shot to death by a Columbus police officer. We talked with her one-on-one a day after Columbus police finally released the officer's personnel file.
Tonight she has questions, concerns, and a plea to the community on behalf of her 20-year-old son. Jackie Orozco has more.
Donovan Lewis's mother says that it's been a nightmare ever since her son was killed and never wanted the national spotlight on her family. But now that it is, she hopes that justice will be served.
I just want to hug and kiss him, tell him I love him. That's what I miss most, having to do it after he's gone. I mean, I pray that he's looking over me, but just one last time.
Rebecca Duran has been dealing with a wave of emotion since the death of her 20-year-old son, Donovan Lewis.
But he was a good person. He had a good heart. He cared about other people. I mean, in his funeral, person after person said the same things.
It's been more than 2 weeks since Lewis was shot and killed by Columbus police officer Ricky Anderson. Police were in the process of serving a warrant for domestic violence. Lewis was unarmed. His mother saw the body cam video and is left with plenty of questions.
He almost shot like around the corner, like he didn't have a clear view. Like I've watched it a couple of times up to that point, and he's not even in front of the door. He's off to the side and shot.
Officer Anderson, a 30-year vet of the department, on paid leave as the investigation moves forward. His personnel file listing a career of accomplishments. But the Lewis family and their attorney have a different point of view.
I know that they're describing him as a stellar employee, but throughout that file, we have all kinds of instances of out-of-policy force violations, yet he's commended in his personnel evaluations. It's almost as if the CPD doesn't think excessive force is a problem.
Absolutely, positively fired. I want him to be indicted and charged criminally. He should spend his life in jail.
The family attorney says that they will continue going through evidence as they keep working on their civil lawsuit. In downtown Columbus, Jackie Orozco reporting.
To showcase the Air Force as a whole and bring the community together.
Celebrating the Air Force's 75th birthday, the marathon expected to bring thousands to the Gem City.
And celebrating the opening of a new school, the upgrades Fairborn district officials are sharing with us tonight.
Plus, I'm checking our football forecast as we head into our Friday that's coming up. Here's a live look from our Kettering Health Skycam. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
After 2 years of virtual runs, the Air Force Marathon returning in person, and it's kicking off with an expo tonight at Wright State's Nutter Center.
Clara Faith talked with organizers and runners and shares their excitement.
This is the 26th year for the Air Force Marathon and is celebrating the 75th birthday of the U.S. Air Force. Organizers say they are pleased the marathon is returning in person, with at least 8,000 runners planning to participate.
And we're really passionate about what we do to showcase the Air Force as a whole and bring the community together.
Awesome experience. We've had great support from the community. All of our team on Wright-Patterson has stepped up.
Aaron Tiso, who served 22 years in the Air Force, will run in the 26.2-mile marathon this weekend.
The excitement of everybody around me, the excitement of our athletes who are running this race competitively, just the overall, just the smiles on people's faces.
Wright-Patterson Air Force Base is also holding a wheelchair race this year. Colonel Meeker's nephew is participating.
And he's running the marathon in his wheelchair cycle. He's been training really hard. This is one of the few marathons that still does the handicap portion. And I'm probably going to get goosebumps when he crosses the finish line.
Tiso says he's excited for the race, but admits to be anxious about one thing.
Finishing dead last.
There's still time to sign up for this weekend's marathon. We'll include the registration link in the web version of this story on Dayton247now.com. Reporting in Greene County, Clara Faith, Dayton 24/7 Now News.
Clara, thanks. And there's a new school in the Fairborn City School District. The brand new Fairborn Intermediate School held a ribbon cutting today. The ceremony is officially opening of the building, which started school today despite school starting in the building 2 weeks ago. The school is for grades 3 through 5. District leaders say the building is a significant upgrade from the previous building that students were in before.
It's climate controlled. The old buildings didn't have air conditioning in many of the rooms. State-of-the-art classrooms with state-of-the-art technology. So we're moving finally into the 21st century.
Now, the school was built with the help of funding from the state as well as a bond that was passed in 2016. A new high school is also going to be built in the district.
Well, nice weather across the Miami Valley for today. Probably noticed a fairly colorful sunset. We had smoke from the wildfires out west, not just yesterday, but also this evening. This is a photo from yesterday captured. You can see beautiful orange colors. And again, due to the smoke from the wildfires that made the skies just a little bit hazy out there today, some filtered sunshine. Going to be the trend for tomorrow as we take a look at our map here. This is our forecast model, which does indicate where smoke is in our atmosphere. And so looking into the day tomorrow, some around, not quite as thick as it was today, and it will continue to dissipate as we head into our Saturday time frame. So plan on a little haze in the forecast again for tomorrow. But this is what we're talking about in our forecast. We have another nice night on the way. 50s again, some fog in the forecast, a summer-like forecast though. For this weekend, we're talking about summer-like temperatures, but good news is we got a dry weekend ahead. Not really anticipating any rain in the forecast, so that's good news. 56 Urbana, we have 67 in Dayton, 61 in Greenville. Compared to this time yesterday, we're a degree or so warmer for many of us, 3 degrees warmer in Wilmington. And we'll continue that warming trend into the day tomorrow as well with a mostly clear sky. And it's going to stay mostly clear overnight. Bigger picture here, we have this dome, a ridge, high pressure building in, which is what's going to keep those above normal temperatures in the forecast. And in fact, areas just off to our west, they're talking about some 90s in the forecast over these upcoming days. Looks like we'll stay in the 80s, but off to our west, we will eventually start to see some activity make its way in by Monday and our Tuesday time frame. So for tonight, we're going to drop down into those 50s. So pretty nice night expected across the area. Cool night, some areas of fog. Looking into our Friday afternoon, back into the mid 80s, a little bit more cloud cover by later into the day. Now Saturday, we start out in the 50s and 60s. Saturday afternoon, we're talking those mid 80s again. So it's going to be another warm one as we head into our Saturday as well. And we continue that summer-like trend, mid 80s, normal height in the upper 70s. So we're going to be at least 5 degrees above normal through this weekend and even as we check into next week too. So for tonight, dropping into the upper 50s. Again, temperatures near normal, slightly above normal. Some fog, but not quite as dense as what we saw last night as well as the night before, but allow some extra time for that commute. And then tomorrow for football Friday night, it is also looking nice. Around kickoff, we'll see temperatures in the upper 70s and then dropping into the upper 60s by later into the evening. But another rain-free one expected with our extended forecast showing those storm chances returning by Monday and Tuesday. We will see a chance for showers and a few thunderstorms. And then it does look like next Thursday we'll see another chance for storms with a cold front that will drop highs back in the 70s.
She's got no clue how she's changed my own life and how she's impacted so many people around her.
Hundreds gathering this weekend to stop heart disease and stroke. The little girl being honored at the event as a heart hero.
You're watching
This weekend, hundreds will gather to walk or run to stop heart disease and stroke. The Heart Walk takes the fight to Dayton Ballpark on Sunday. And part of that event is going to highlight a little girl who's being called a heart hero. Take a look.
Watching one-year-old Journey Morris.
What are you doing?
You'd never guess the overwhelming challenges she's already faced.
She's got no clue how she's changed my own life and how she's impacted so many people around her. And she's just this tiny, thank you, this tiny baby.
Her mom, Casey, says when she was 20 weeks pregnant, an ultrasound discovered Journey had a hole in her heart. 8 weeks after Journey was born, Casey says Journey's heart began to fail. The next several weeks was touch and go, a breathing tube challenge, a common cold that led to congestive heart failure. Journey was intubated for more than 40 days.
A lot of hope and faith, big time.
At 4 months old, Journey had airway reconstruction and open heart surgery.
I was present in that moment to just feel all of it then. And so now I look at her and I'm like, process what? That she's doing great.
The surgery, though, was a great success. 1 year later, Journey continues to thrive.
Even though her first little bit of life, everybody was in essentially hazmat gear, really, they were they come into the room in hazmat gear. She loves people. She loves to make people laugh. She's so silly.
Journey will still need another heart surgery down the road, but that's for another day. Casey just says she's unbelievably grateful.
She made me realize what's important in life, and it just kind of checked me into life.
A life changed by a true heart hero.
And you can still register for the Greater Dayton Heart Walk. It's happening Sunday at Day Air Ballpark, and we have a link in the web version of this story. That's at Dayton247now.com.
Another Thursday Night Lights game is in the books. Ahead, the big plays from National Trail's big win over Dixie. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
Tonight's Thursday Night Lights game took us to Dixie. The Greyhounds hosting the National Trailblazers. This one had the scoreboard lighting up all game, but it was mostly one-sided. Early first quarter, Greyhound quarterback Aiden Martin, he's going to lose that football. National Trail would recover, and it didn't take long for them to cash in. That's number 9, Caden Clark's going to take the pitch, makes a move. He is in. 7-0 Blazers very early. Next Blazer drive. Big man, fullback, Drew DeWitt, cuts it left, houses it. 14-0. Still first quarter. DeWitt then, again, doing his best Derrick Henry impression, just stonewalling people, going in for the end zone. 21-0 at this point. Jamison wants now. He wants to get in on the action as well. He's going to take it and go around the left end, taking it all the way into the end zone. 35-0 at this point. Then a short time later, it's Clark again. He's going to make a cut, find some blockers, and he's gone. 42-0. We are still in the first quarter. Second quarter now. Jody Wintrow. He's going to get in for a touchdown. Final in this one. National Trail is going to roll 71-0. The final score.
When I spoke to several of the National Trail players on Wednesday, they mentioned how Thursday's trip to Dixie was going to be a business trip. And the Blazers were certainly all business on Thursday night, from the opening kickoff to the end of the game. A 71-0 win at Dixie. They are the first road team to win on Thursday Night Lights in 2022, and it is their 4th straight win of the season. They have come a long way since that Week 1 loss to Milton Union, having taken care of business the rest of the way. They started the week ranked 3rd in the computer rankings, and they are in great position to set themselves up for a strong second half to the season. This was a game that featured a balanced rushing attack, multiple players finding the end zone, some of them more than once. Guys like Caden Clark and Drew DeWitt finding the end zone multiple times in the first half alone. The Blazers able to get the job done both on offense and defense. For Dixie, it was about the little victories, and they did have some moments in the game, but they were ultimately unable to find the end zone or put any points on the board. In the end, it was the Blazers celebrating with the TNL trophy.
Coach, 71 points is an insane amount of points. Let's talk about your team and how you guys feel after a big win like that.
Well, I'll tell you what, we always like to win. There's nothing we don't like any better. But, and we got plenty of time to play our young kids. Everybody played well. We got in there and we did what we had to do. The thing of it is when you're in a game like this, the other team has to stop you. And if they can't stop you, it's tough. It's tough all night.
A lot of people scored. A lot of people had great plays tonight. Yep. Is there any player or position group or anybody that you want to give a special shout out to?
See these guys standing right here, these seniors?
All your seniors.
They've all paid their dues. They've all been a great team. They are leaders. They know what's going on. They don't miss the weight room. They don't miss nothing. When I go down and I start attending